Behind every achievement, behind every moment people see, there's a story. The challenges, the lessons, the purpose, and of course, the impact. Welcome to Impact Play with Dr. J. Real stories, real conversations, real impact. Now, let's get into today's Impact Play. We go beyond the game, we go beyond the titles and accomplishments to uncover stories, lessons, and moments that shape the impact that people leave behind. So today's guest truly represents what Impact Play is all about. Miss Benton knows many, by many know her by Coach Nae, but we're going to call her Nae today.
Okay.
All right. And she started playing basketball around the age of 6, right?
Sure.
All right. And so the love of the game carried her through an incredible journey and becoming a collegiate athlete, playing professionally, and even being inducted into the Central State University Women's Hall of Fame, Basketball Hall of Fame. But her story does not stop with playing days. Okay. So today, she is pouring back into the next generation. She's a founder of the Yes Enrichment Services. She is the CEO of Naetivate Sportswear and Naetivate Training. I can't believe I got that right, but we good. Where she develops young athletes, not only in basketball, but in their confidence and in their character, and most importantly, in life. So, Nae, welcome to Impact Play.
Thanks for having me, Dr. J. I'm excited.
No problem. All right, so Nae, Impact Play was created because I was an athlete, and I
Okay.
always believe that there's a story behind each athlete. So before the Hall of Fame and the playing of the basketball, who was Nae?
That's a great question. Nobody has ever asked me that question. I was a shy kid. I would say I was a
Really?
nerd. I was a very shy, reserved kid before basketball, right? We talking about I started playing at 6, but before there, I was like your angel kid, very quiet, very polite. Yeah, I was loved to read, just a quiet kid, not too much. I can't think of anything that I was interested in before. Come from a small, close knit family. So I just remember older cousins and things like that. You have your cousins is gonna get into trouble and things like that. I was not trying to do that. I was gonna listen to the parents, listen to uncles, cousins, whoever told me what to do. I was very like everybody wanted to watch me, like, oh, she's a good kid. So that's what I remember.
Yeah, that reminds me of me. I think I'm the 4th oldest of 13 or 14 on one side, and I can't tell you what number I am on the other
Okay.
side. And I paid attention. I like if the first 3 got in trouble for X, Y, and Z, I wasn't about to get in trouble
Listen,
for it.
I'm like that to this day. Like, don't do nothing. You don't.
Mhm. So what made you realize basketball was more than something that you did? It's something that, became a part of who you are.
I think I'm just now starting to realize that I'm probably going to ramble. I try to stay
You're
controlled because
okay.
there's so much, like basketball has been my life from
Mhm.
6 to 53.
Mhm.
I think that, after it was a pivot, after I was done playing, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go get a job. I'm gonna go do those things. And, basketball, I was not interested in coaching because I was a
Okay.
sore loser and different things like that. So I'm like, I was real big on learning how to close chapters. Like, okay, I played my days, they're over with. And, a lot of times people think because you play, you got to coach. I'm like, no, I don't got to coach. I'm cool. And I just was on to the next chapter. So probably about when I got inducted to the Hall of Fame in 2022, I had just started helping a great trainer in this area. She played for Ohio State, tried out for the WNBA. I was helping her. And I'm just like, okay, this is something. It just got desires just I felt like a little kid again. So
Mm,
that's when I'll say like 2022 is when I start pivoting, like wanting to do something. And
mhm.
I was okay with just being an assistant trainer, by the way, because I had just had a kid. I might have my
Oh,
second kid. So
congratulations.
I'm like, I'm cool. Like this is just giving me my little fix and I can go back to doing what I was doing. And it did. I believe in a higher power, and God was like, nah, it's something else. I'm like, what? So yeah, that's kind of how it was. Like I never wanted to get this big. I never was just wanting to. I got back around the game, loved it. love
Mhm.
just training because coaching takes up a lot of your time. So I
Yes, it
had 2
does.
kids. So I'm like, "Ah, that's not gonna work." I did try to no, I actually did try to coach, and I remember going to AAU weekends. Sunday, we got an 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock game. I'm telling my husband I'll be back about 12. I'm not getting home to 7 p.m.
Oh,
I'm like, "Wait,
yeah.
we won. We gotta keep on playing." And it was just like it just did not work with my household. It just did not
Mm,
work. I'm like, "Well, coaching, I tried it. We gotta scratch that off the list. Let me just stay in this training bubble." And,
yeah.
that's what I done.
Wow. Well, like, I feel like every athlete has a moment where people see all the, like, the wins and the highlights and all that jazz,
Yes.
but there is the journey behind all of that. So what did basketball teach you about yourself, and what are some of the challenges people did not see?
Basketball teach you how to be delusional. For me for me, and what I mean by that is, like, that's all I knew from 6 years old. From
Mhm,
introduction, I have an older brother who was playing. I asked, "Can I play?" And he said
mhm.
no, and then I just became a quest of that's how I got started. But when I say delusional, like, once you desire once you have your passion, that's all you think about. That's all you I don't know what's going
Yeah.
on. Like, I know I have a mom, a single mother is raising me. I know she's providing food, the basics. At that time, it
Right,
was the basics. I'm like, okay, well,
right.
I got an okay life. And then
Mhm.
as I start pursuing like trying to go overseas, trying to, in that basketball journey, here comes some adversity. But
Right.
I honestly think that I was equipped for the adversity when I look at my life from 43 through 6, not from 6 to 43. And I'm like, wow, yeah, I
Mm,
did have some barriers. I did overcome some things that at the time I'm just like, ain't nothing stopping me from playing basketball. Ain't nothing stopping me from playing basketball. So I think
mm.
a lot of people just don't understand the resilience that I had, like from um anything being I mean, I didn't get every shoe that came out. I understood that at an early age. Like, hey, my mom, humility, like, hey, I respect people. I don't think I'm above or beyond nobody. So I
Yes.
think that those things, just respecting people and being having humility in everything I do. I think sometimes people say I'm too humble, but
Mm,
I'm just grateful. I'm just thankful for, this journey that I did not know was gonna get this big. And I wouldn't change anything about it. So yeah, I would say like just coming from like resilience, like not having much, but
gotcha.
not wanting much, not you wouldn't see that. You wouldn't see
Mhm.
that my mom worked third shift doubles for a week. And you're not gonna see that. Um because I also was mature for my age. Like I was able to observe and look and what goes on in the house stays in the house. So I wasn't going to school saying that basketball was really like, okay, go to school, go play basketball, go to school, go play basketball. So I think that that would be something that people don't like when I do share my story, they're like, wow, like it empowers others. And that's why I share it now. But it's resilience, it's overcoming barriers, obstacles, and I think the attitude, like I don't change my attitude. Like it is nothing that I don't think I can't do. It's nothing
Right.
so it's nothing that's like I'm gonna get done wrong. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
cry about it, pout about it. Now I might share it with like one or two people, but it's like, nope, I'm not gonna let but yeah, I think that would be the biggest thing.
And one of the things I hear in what you're saying too is I feel like you were satisfied with what you had. Like there
Mm,
wasn't this need to look at my neighbor and see what
mm.
my neighbor has and make me feel that I don't have what I'm supposed to have.
Yeah, I think I would credit that to a couple things. My mom, who was just like the most humble, nicest person on earth, right?
Yeah.
And I saw her work hard and I felt like she deserved, a mansion and deserved, I mean, she minded her business, raised her kids. I'm like, well, she's a good person and she's still
Yes.
struggling. So
Mm,
how can I complain? How can I?
mhm.
So that was and then the second thing was upbringing. We grew up in a small city where no, I would say upbringing on love. Like my
Mhm.
mom would lead with, "You not, girl. I can't afford them Jordans, but I love you anyway." Like she just
Right.
at a early age, we didn't have much, but we had love, and I think that was very important, like, unconditional love. It wasn't materialistic, it was like, "Hey, if this what you wanna do, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have to work hard for it, but as for me, I'm working with what I got, I'm gonna provide for these kids, Imma do my best," and that's it. I didn't thank God I grew up in a small city where it wasn't really, like, the
Mhm.
name brands and things like that. When it got
Yeah.
to that stage in high school, I was like, "Oh, don't even come over here. I'm not gonna have your latest on. Don't even worry about that."
You said, "Don't even worry about
Yeah,
it."
don't even worry about it.
I know
I do the
that's
same
right.
thing with my kids now. We're not getting things just because somebody else got them, and we're not gonna do those things. I'm gonna fill you up on love and real solid things, so I
Mhm.
guess I got that from my mom, like, "No, we're not just spending $100 on a T-shirt or a pair of shoes just because you want them."
Right. No, I think that's really important for the listeners, because I feel like we're in a day and age where, especially with social media, like you see what someone
Yes.
else has, and now you down in the dumps because you
Yes.
don't have what they have.
Yes.
And I have a 9-year-old, and that's one of the things when you say you lead with love and
Yes.
you lead with what's real. I let her know, like, just because somebody have a big house and just because somebody have these things, they probably a beautiful mess.
Yes. Yeah.
So on the
No,
inside,
that's
it's
that's
so
important.
but what we have is love. Like,
Yes.
you can't money can't buy love. Money can't buy
Yes.
the real feelings and experiences that we
Mhm.
have. So that's like when you said
Yeah.
that, that really resonate with me. And I really feel like listeners would be able to take that
Right.
in this day and age and this culture. Like
Yes.
what's real?
Yes. Yeah. That's a
So
good question.
so back in 22, right? That's when you were inducted into the
Yeah.
Central State Basketball
Yeah.
Hall of Fame. So that's a
Yes.
moment to be recognized, right? So take me
Yeah.
back to hearing about that news and what did that honor mean to you?
That's funny you said that because that's one of my new things I'm working on, just enjoying. Like, when you get in this side of business, and I'm gonna get to your question, but this is for the listeners. When you get to that side of the business, it's always what's next. All right, I work on
Yes,
this project. Okay, that didn't work, or what's next? So I'm just enjoying. I'm working on enjoying being in the
y-
moment of
that's
whatever
good.
that is. So yeah, like I'll never forget. I was driving down the highway. I knew the numbers because that's how much I was in the athletic department at Central State. I'm like, "Oh, I know this number, Central State calling me." I mean, they told me I had to pull over. Like, I did not think I would respond like that, but it was just like, about time. That's how I felt. That's how I felt about time, but it was just something, you know how they say you get your flowers while you alive and
Yes.
vibrant. So it was for me, it was something for my me and my husband met when I was in my 30s. So of course he didn't see me in college, but it was something for my family, like my husband, my kids to see. They were younger, but it was
Yes.
it was a great moment that, like be a part of history and be acknowledged for the
Hmm.
work that I did at Central. And it just was, I mean, it was a phenomenal. I That was one of my best days of my life, easily. Easily.
Man, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
And shout out to HBCUs for real, for real.
Yes. 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 Yes.
So did it remind you of the responsibility that comes with that platform?
That's a good question. I think I was so caught up on I deserved that moment, but I think that the way I live, I'm always thinking about. But I think no, let me pivot. I was away from the game then. I was just doing it once a week, so I wasn't even thinking about it was gonna turn into this or that was gonna be the pivot. So yeah, I was just like, okay,
Mhm.
like, if I did go to Central State games before that moment, I always would try to connect to the coach and the players. I'm always a giver of game or knowledge, or your auntie that's like, "Hey, I'm in the area. If because I live like 25 miles away from Central, so I always would reach out to whoever the coach was, like, "Hey, I'm in the area. I would love to come meet the team." Like, I did that. People think I'm a weirdo with that. Like, what does this lady want? But it's just what's in my heart. And I remember being in those, so I would have loved to be in a Central State and some former players in the area come back and give. I mean, it's a community of sisterhood that you'll never forget. So I'm
Mm.
real big on that. Real big on that.
So one thing I love talking about is when about athlete is identity. And so like you kept saying, like, I've been doing this since I was 6.
Yeah.
And you so for a long time, you was introduced as the basketball player, the athlete, but then, eventually the jersey comes off.
Yes.
And so I would like to talk about, and the many of the people that I have on Impact Play, we talk about what was that transition like for you, right? So right, Naya is no longer the competitor,
Right.
but now
Right. All right, I'm a good storyteller too. My transition remind me of Love and Basketball. You remember that scene when
yeah.
Monica's at work and she's trying to make copies? That was me. Like I never forget. So let me go back. So when I do, like I'm very I can't think of the word, but once I'm in something, that's all I see. So once
Mhm.
I'm out of it, I gotta close the door to go. So I literally had a conversation with myself, like, "Hey, you tried or overseas, you tried the WNBA. We're closing this door, and we're
Okay.
gonna go get a job." Like it literally was a conversation with myself. So I remember going on interviews, not having dress clothes. I remember uh, having positions at a job where you got to make copies, you got to do all of these things. I'm like, I don't know how to do none of this. So I'm like, well, let me watch, let me figure it out. And I never forget, I was making copies the wrong way. Like I didn't know where to put the paper in. And like the director came in like, what are you doing? I'm like, making copies. So that's what I think about making that transition. And then it makes me think about I don't think college prepared me for that transition. I think that when you're in college and you're an athlete, it's just so much focused on playing basketball.
Yes.
I don't remember a conversation of what are you gonna do after basketball. I don't remember. If it
Mhm.
was, I don't remember it. Or it wasn't a plan. It wasn't a had seniors. You need to do X, Y, and Z. So it was really like I felt like I was like I said, I felt like I was lost. Like, okay,
Yeah.
well, I know I need to get a job. It was two things. I know I need to get a job, and I knew that I did not want to go back home. Like I just did not want to go back home by it being a
Mhm.
small city
Right.
and just not having that many resources for whatever reason. I'm like, I'm not going back. And
Mm.
that's just where I didn't know anybody. I got a job. I probably knew my former coach. She stayed in the area, but I just figured it out. Best
That's what's
decision
up.
I ever made too. I think that was the best. I can't, there's nothing I can't do. I'm 24, 25 years old in a city with no family, entry level job. I figured it out.
You figure it out. I love that. Like, I think too, and I had this conversation with another guest about when you just talked about resiliency. Like sometimes, I'm a college professor, and I had students that'll say, "I don't even want to try because I don't want to fail." So
Mm.
they don't even try because they
Mhm.
don't want to know what failure
Mhm.
feels like. But I said, but that's where what's next comes into play. How do I bounce back?
I always say failure is success inside out. You gotta
Listen,
fail to get success. You got to. And a lot of times we don't try, but the things that we are skeptical to try are the things we need to try. Because
listen.
it might not reach the goal, but you're gonna find out something about yourself. You're gonna
Mhm,
find
mhm.
out what's in you. And that's what's important.
That's the important part. That's where you
Yeah.
find the good stuff.
Yes.
So when I hear students say that, or if I'm around my daughter in AAU team, and I hear some foolishness like that, I'm like,
Yeah.
well, that you gotta know that's the now what part of
Mhm.
life, and that's where
Mhm.
all the good essence of that's
Yeah.
where the diamond is made.
Right.
I'm like, come on now. So like when you say
Right.
stuff like when you said that, that makes a lot of sense. So I
Right.
love the name Nativate.
Right. Right.
So because I like the name Nativate because it sounds like a action. Tell us where you got Nativate from and
It was actually coined by somebody else. So this is just a small story. I call myself a positive person, a self-made positive person. When I was playing sports, I was just like Monica in that I wore my emotions on my sleeve. I'm gonna get a technical foul. I had an ultra ego on the court.
mm,
Super passionate, super competitive. I'm trying to win a basketball game by any means. Off the court, reserved, but that characteristics on the court, people judge me off the course. I always, when I became an adult, I always would like if it was a girl with a bad attitude, girl, come here. I know why you got an attitude. All those girls, I wanted all of them to help them process that because I knew that your reputation, like people are going to look at you and think that's who you are, and that's not who you
yeah.
are. You are frustrated. You're a sore loser. You want to win. Like you're beating up. You're hard on yourself. So I'm saying that to say that Nativate my nickname is Nay.
Mhm.
My real name is Danaea, but I have friends that I met from playing basketball. I have friends that when you post, "Hey, I'm going to the Hall of Fame," people want to remember, "Oh, I played with you, or did this thing with you." So one girl I went to high school with, she's probably 3 years younger than me. She looked up to me, and she called me about something and asked my opinion. I don't know if it was starting a podcast or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, you can do it. Just gave her some positive motivation, inspiration, whatever. She's like, that's what I needed. I needed nativations. And I stopped. I was like, nativations. And I remember stopping like, okay, that sounds cool. And then this is going on right after I get inducted into the Hall of Fame. Just the timing of it. Like,
Mhm.
I knew I wanted to do more with training. So I'm like, you know what? I'm always giving inspiration because another parent, because I end up doing individual training, and one of the parents was like, "Do you know what you told my daughter in training?" I'm like, "No, I just say whatever, but I know it's going to be positive." So
Mhm.
my training, how I train is I don't cuss at kids. Everything is positivity. Like I just want it. My method is I want to challenge you and pour into you. And that's very hard because a lot of times people think I gotta challenge you, I gotta yell at you, I gotta push you. Like they got that one way of pushing, which I don't think works. So I'm like, you know what? I feel like I can push you and give you inspiration at the same time. So it's just like, to me, it's just like church. I'm telling you how to
Mm.
play basketball. I'm inspiring you. I'm gonna push you past your limit. You gonna get something out of it, and I'm gonna get something out of it by you getting what you said you want out of it. So long story short, I say that to say that she said the Nativations parent was like, "Do you know what you told my daughter?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "You should put it on a t-shirt." Boom. I'm like, I gotta find a way. Mind you, I was still just assisting with training. Nativate Training just launched in 2026. I'm like, I'm
Okay.
just assisting with training. Like, I just want to be. This is working. This is working. And I'm like, I'm gonna launch a positive sportswear line for girls, and that's where
Wow.
Native 8 sportswear. And then I was like Native 8 basketball. So I tried to
Mhm.
stay away from basketball because I didn't want to. First off, I didn't want to conflict with the girl that I was training or act or make it seem like I was in competition. But everybody's like, you do basketball too. But when you start in new things, you start questioning, and that's why
Yes.
you got to be like, no, this gonna be something big. When you start questioning and I don't know, or maybe, and that's not even my personality. But I've been in that mode for like 4 years. I don't know. Yes, no, maybe, and I just keep on going. So
I heard that.
that's how it came about. Nativate, the name, and then it just went from Nativate Sportswear to Nativate Training to now we do Nativate camps. We got Nativate Reads, which is a reading initiative. We have a Nativate shoe drive. So all of that just like it just keeps on growing and growing and growing.
Wow, that's phenomenal, and
Yeah.
kudos to you to go through the journey.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur, as a fellow entrepreneur, I
Yes.
understand the questioning of oneself, and that is
Yes.
not in my nature either. I'm
Yes.
a pretty exact person, but in those circumstances, I have to be like, "Okay, is that me? Is it God or somebody else?" I'm like, so I gotta
Yeah.
like figure out what's going on here, and usually in those circumstances, something like you just said, something big
Yeah,
is
it's bigger.
about to
I say it
happen.
all the time, it's bigger than me. And I always like you say, like when you do things like it's parts of Native 8 that is transactional, right? Those are, that's a business. Then it's things that are for a purpose. A purpose is bigger than me. And then that's why I say it's bigger than me. It's bigger than basketball because I wouldn't even be able to do all this stuff. I wouldn't if it was just about me.
All right. You got it. So now we in this landscape. So this is a good
Yeah.
segue. We in this landscape where women's sports is finally getting the attention that it
Yes.
ought to have before.
Yes. Yes.
But we know there was always
Right.
greatness there.
Right. That's why I be saying. I was like, it always was good players.
I I mean, my favorite player was Michelle Edwards from the Cleveland Rockers. Shout out
Okay.
Michelle Edwards.
Okay. Okay.
I played basketball in my earlier years,
Okay.
and yeah, but I went to Cleveland Rockers camps and all this and
Okay.
that.
Okay.
And
I hope they
I
get their team back. I hope Cleveland get a team back. I hope they do.
Yeah, so we're
I
getting
hope.
a team back. We
Okay.
don't know what it's gonna be called yet. So right
Okay.
now it's the Cleveland WNBA, and so we're I think it's 2028.
Hey,
We
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 2028. And so as someone who has lived it,
Mhm.
What do you hope young girls see when they look at you, and why does representation matter?
I hope they see inspiration for first off, and I hope they see it's more than one route. So, like everything we talking about, right? We put it. We don't talk about the process. We don't talk about the failures. We don't talk about. We put success as okay. I wanna play WNBA. It's just gonna be okay. You go to high school, you go to college, you get there. Okay, and if you don't, it's so many things in between that you can get there. Like I'm quite sure it's people in the WNBA or playing in WNBA that we don't know because they're not highlighted and things like that. So I want them to own their journey,
Mhm.
whatever that looks like. I'm quite sure they don't know that I tried out for the WNBA. They don't know that I play. So through my journey, I want to take all those things that I learned and I want to give it to them and encourage them to find their way. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's the whole purpose behind everything I do to let them know that, it's going to be hard.
Right.
Get in a but you got to get in a winning environment. A winning environment, it could be I'm a complete stranger, and I mean this. I'm a complete stranger. Right now, I'm working with a girl that I just met last week, and when I mean I am dedicated and devoted to helping this girl, I don't gotta know you. I know what you need. So a lot of times it will be that. It will be a complete stranger to come on your journey and let me
Mm.
show you. Let be
Mhm.
open to when you're on your journey, be open to meet whatever comes along with that because I'm telling
Mm.
you, that's how you're gonna get there. It's not gonna be the people that you think gonna help you. And what I mean by that, your parents could not know nothing about basketball. I say it all the
Facts.
time. Parents be loud and wrong.
Sure
Loud and
do.
wrong. Loud and wrong. And what I mean by that is you can't parent your way for your kid to be successful on a basketball court. That you can't.
Yes, indeed.
There's no way possible. But we live in a time where, like I said, like parents are you gotta pat like when you go to school, you give your that authority to the teacher to teach your kid. You gotta give
Yes.
that same authority to the sports world. But you can do
Yes.
your research. You can't
Yes.
like I lead with look me up. Google me. Go look. No, because that's important. Like take I'm saying that I'm gonna train your baby. Go do your research. Don't just look for the glitter and the gold, the one that's saying this or the team that's doing this. So that's what I want. I want to help people. I want to be honest with them and I
Right.
want to help them on their journey to discover their journey and understand that while they're on their journey, it's going to be if it's a smooth sailing, that's great. But every journey is gonna have adversity. Even the people that we talking about in the WNBA, your Kelsey Mitchells, your Caitlin Clarks, they have adversity. We just don't see it.
Correct, and
We
it's
just
not
don't
something that's
see
talked
it.
about. It's not talked
Yeah.
about. So one of the things that stood out to me about Naetivate Training is that, like, it's not just basketball training, it's
Mhm,
mentorship.
mhm.
Why do you pair mentorship, not just basketball?
I see me in everything I do, and so what I mean by that is, some of these kids, they might start off with native aid training, and they might not. Let's say I'm training a sixth grader. She
Mhm.
might get to middle school and say, I don't wanna do basketball no more. I still wanna be able to connect to you or have a event where it's something that we bring in. It's people that it's other parts of sports. You don't just have to play it. You can be a referee, you can be a sport, you can do a podcast, you can be a sports analyst. So I just wanna give them different through sports, I just wanna give them different avenues to look at things. And even with leadership, I know you saw that article going
Mhm.
around and saying that girls in leadership end up being like top executives. And I think it's because of some of the characteristics of, when you looking at being a girl or, from a preteen to teenage years, those are some tough years.
Yeah, they
Those are
are.
some tough years and just building confidence through basketball, but carrying it on to, like it's gonna be teammates that don't like you. It's gonna be
Right.
times where you don't like your mom and your mom don't like you. It's gonna be times where and just getting them to the skills necessary to just become better girls and understanding that you're not alone on this journey. So that's the whole goal.
That's good. So one conversation I was having, I think with a previous guest, is that
Mhm.
athletes and coaches often see young people, they wanna see the outcome, but they don't always want to go through the process. And so what do you teach athletes about patience and discipline and actually putting in the
Ooh,
work?
that's hard. That's hard. That's very hard. And I'm a victim of that. And what I mean
Mm,
by that is I was great, great athlete, great. I lacked the fundamentals. So when I went
mm,
to try out for the WNBA, great athlete, all the reports, great athlete, has a great upside, does not have strong fundamentals.
mm,
So what I did was I took that and I said, you know what? First off, I went and mastered those fundamentals, right? Because I wanted to still, I thought I still had some gas in my tank. But that's
mhm,
my why. Like my why is okay, the fundamentals of the game, right? We live in a society where is everybody's winning. Like I can go in all these tournaments and winning is everything and scoring is everything. But the truth of the matter is that when you get to any level of NBA, WNBA, college level, those fundamentals are going to show back up. When you go to
mm,
college, I've been to college, I've been an All-American in JUCO. When I transferred to Central State, which was this school that was known for talented players that had a story. So that team could have easily been D1. When I got there, it was 10 Danaea Williamses there. So you like, you're not the woman no more. You're not the man anymore. What do I do? Okay, I gotta go to work. I gotta do these things. I gotta put in work outside of practice, before practice. So I think I just live it. I just live the my work ethic is impeccable. My
gotcha.
discipline is impeccable. So I try to give those things to the kids, like 15 minutes. You
Mhm,
be on your phone for 15 minutes. 15 minutes of wanting to though, all right?
mhm,
My mother couldn't afford a trainer. She never had to say go play basketball. It was something that I wanted to do. And
gotcha.
another thing is a lot of times you get kids that when the work starts coming along, they don't want to do it no more. Now
Yep,
it's optional. Now
yep.
it's optional. And I tell them like the work is part of the process. You can't skip the work. You can skip it now. It's gonna end up
Listen.
down the road. And it might be you might take a huge loss that you didn't have to take. So
Mm,
I always do that. I always like I said, I do that in training. Part of my training is talking. Like we have a theme when we start off. This is our message for today. Today's gonna be difficult. We're gonna push through difficulty. I don't care if you're six, you're gonna push through difficulty. And then at the end, it's like a recap. I send them a note, like if they're on Instagram, like, hey, way to push through today. So
mm,
it's more than training to me. I'm not just, hey, come in, sign up for training and go. Like I'm really building relationships. And I think that
mhm.
those things will last longer than whether you can make a bucket or not.
They really do, honestly. I mean, when I think back about the coaches that, and the people who have really impacted my life, it's because there was a relationship there. My track coach, shout out Claude Holland at Cleveland Heights High School. He was like a second father to
Yeah.
many people. He was a person that in the hallways at school, I'm not even on the track, and he was like, that's not that language you were using is not becoming of you. And then at practice, he tapped that butt because
Yeah.
he heard language that wasn't because
Yeah.
me,
No, you need that.
so, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, "What is this workout?" He was like, "That's because I heard that language from you the
Yeah.
other today."
Yeah.
So it was meaningful because it shaped my experiences, and I
Yes.
agree that you have to have that deeper relationship
Yeah.
with what it is that you're doing. So let's shift. Let's talk about Yes Enrichment Services. So
Okay.
you mentioned that you're doing camps and reading
Right.
initiatives and,
Okay. So
let's get
so
into it.
So yes, enrichment services started in 2019. It was doormat. I didn't do anything, and this is how I know it's God because He said He had me do that and was like, "You're gonna need that later on," and
Wow.
I didn't know that. Like I'm just now starting to. I mean, we're active and things like that, but probably within like the last year and a half. So once again, I got Naetivate training, and I'm like, I need something bigger. I need something bigger. And I remember growing up, like I used to read a lot, and I'm like, how can I connect reading? Because it's gotta be connectivity with me, because this relationship and it's relatable. So I'm like, how can I connect reading to what I'm doing? So I have friends that's in school, like teachers, they do reading programs. I'm like, let me come in and read with the kids. So I come in, volunteer and read for the kids, and I'm just like, I'm about to start Native A Reads. Idea. And I'm like, and what I learned about being on this journey is not all ideas, but some ideas you stick with. And I'm like, the first thing is like, how I'm gonna do this? And I'm
Right.
like, well, I gotta start with what I had. So I just started with what I had. and we ended up doing a read and play in Columbus Public Schools or Reynoldsburg schools with the I knew a former one of my former teammates. So that's what I ended up doing. I ended up reaching out to all my former teammates that were teachers, like, can I do this at your school? Can I do this at your school? And whoever I met with, all the administration people that I needed to meet with. And Reynoldsburg, we ended up sticking. We ended
Mhm.
up right before Christmas, we ended up doing a we were supposed to only do a classroom. So those mentoring part, where the mentoring part comes in at is I have Naetivate ambassadors where I take like 5 girls and 5 boys and they help with the camps for the little kids. And we want to, say I want to eventually take them to leadership programs and things like that. But I was able to take two of the no, it was one girl that I trained. She was able to go to the school with me, and she was like, spent a day with me. She was like, "Oh my god, I cannot believe you do all this." But we went to the school, and like I said, it was supposed to be a classroom. But probably about 2 weeks prior to the visit, my teammate Taya Kid, shout out to her. She reached out and was like, "Nay, we gonna do the whole school." I said, "We
Mhm.
gonna do what?" We gonna do the whole school, and I just appreciate that because that happens to me all the time. Like people reach out to me that strangers, referrals that I don't know, or I mean, before me and Taya, we kind of stay in contact with Facebook, but it's not on that magnitude. And like I get it every day. I get a random inbox and things like that. So Taya was like, "No, we're gonna do the whole school." So we ended up
Wow.
doing the whole school. We read a book to them, and then we did an activity. So what we were saying was like reading is just like training. Like
Mm.
it was encouraging kids, like if you want to move, like physical activities, like all the kids like physical activities like sports, football, basketball. They're active. We did like K through fifth, so all these kids was active. But what
Right.
we were saying was like give yourself that same encouragement with reading. Like reading is not like literacy scores are down and things like that. So
Yes.
find you a book that you like, find you something that you like, and you read that book for, if you can't read it 15 minutes, just start with one what, 2 or 3 pages. And so the girl that I brought with me, she was one of my struggle kids with training. Like her first 2 training sessions, she was about to quit. She's like, I'm not
Mm.
about to do this. So I use that as an example of like, listen, she started off training with me. Now she's one of my most committed trainers. She's
Right.
a Naetivate ambassador, and she remembers that first time in training, like, "Mom, what you signed me up for?" So even with them, telling them like, "Yeah, when you're starting new things, reading and things like that, it's not gonna be easy, but keep on practicing, just like you practice those sports that you love." So that was the correlation, and I want that to be a national initiative. So, like I said,
Yes.
we did Columbus. I have a couple schools that want to do it for the reading month. I think it's March. So
Mhm.
we want to expand with that. And so that's how the Naetivate reads came. Like and you stay up 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning till you get it done. But and it's so crazy because that's the part I want people to understand, the sacrifices
Yes.
that I know. It's like the guilt of doing these things when you have small children. Like
Yes.
when
We
you go do that school and those kids, their response to that was like, that sacrifice is worth it.
Yes, it is.
Staying up, driving, we drove an hour, what I'm saying, spending the day, having to get babysitters and things like that. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah.
And that's how I know that I'm on the right path. So that's how we came up with Native A Reads. We want to get it to where we're partnering with, I'm saying, libraries and literacy programs where we can give the kids from K through 5. I really want to do like K through third, where those kids, if you, I feel like I started reading like first, second grade, and I feel like once you start, I don't know if you feel like this, once you start having a love for reading kind of early, it kind of sticks later.
I agree.
That's just my opinion. But yeah, that's what we want to do with Native A Reads. And we want to get it to where the Native A ambassadors are going back and are doing the reading and doing the
Mhm.
activities. So yeah,
Wow.
that's what Native A reads. We also have what else we have? Native A reads. We have a shoe drive. We try to do that around the holidays, just because sports costs. Like I wasn't that kid
Whew.
that could get basketball shoes all the time. So we started with wanting to donate shoes to specific basketball teams, but then people just start keeping your drink, trying to box it in. Then people start, well, I just got some shoes I want to donate. It doesn't matter if it's basketball. I'm like, nope. I start taking off I start taking out more shoes. So we probably got like I say about 30 pairs of shoes. We were able to donate like probably about 15. We probably still got some more to donate, but just
Mhm.
continue to build that where we can, saying have an event. My goal is to have a camp and have a, saying have a shoe drive or giveaway at the same time. So
I
yeah,
just
that's
love
that's
it.
that's what we got.
I just love it. I just love it. Like, you went from athlete to a founder,
Yeah,
and building stuff from scratch and using different kinds of discipline. I mean, I'm hearing all these transferable skills from being an athlete are helping you in your entrepreneurial endeavors as well.
right. Yes.
So, what's been some of your hardest lessons, and for the listeners, like, some people that are listening are trying to build their own nonprofit, or they trying to become an entrepreneur. What was some of your hardest lessons in what it is that you're trying to build right
I think I think the lessons just change. I
now?
think the first thing was before Naetivate, I had all these ideas, right? But they were like 1,000 of them. I think the biggest thing to me was like sticking to one thing. Like I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do it through. And what I mean by through is it wasn't easy. Like I messed up shirts. Like I started off with sportswear, right? So
Right.
when I launched the t-shirt, it was a logo shirt. I have one up here, but just trial and error, like, working with suppliers, working with designers, like my
Mhm.
first shirt and my shirt now, this is one of my shirts right here. Total different. Total different. You look at the first one like, "Oh my god, y'all brought that shirt? I can't believe y'all brought that." But I would just say that part, like, it's not gonna be perfect. It's gonna be yours. It's not gonna be perfect. I would say get around people that are dreamers as well. Like
That's
whether
good.
it's whether it's I don't know, like even on social media, like Shaq, I go follow these people
Mhm.
doing the same work that I'm doing. I haven't seen Shaq since college, but I follow her posts, I share her posts, and it's energy being transferred. I just
That's
believe
good.
that.
That's
So that's
good.
the whole thing. So when I say get in the environment, it doesn't have to be physically. It could
Yes.
just be a social media. Like I look up these people every day. And also the last part is don't compare. It was a season where I start doing that.
Mhm.
Like you're not competing and comparing your stuff to yours is yours. Is it
Yes.
good to look at other places for some ideas or some, saying
Mhm.
some to take some nuggets? Yeah, but your way is gonna be totally different. And
Yes.
block out the noise. The noise gets loud. The more you do, I just dropped these shirts today. I promise you, I'm gonna get an inbox. Why that color? Why did you do this? Why didn't you do that? And guess what? I'm going in my head. I'm going, okay, thank you. In my head, I've already blocked out the noise. I already know that comes with it. In the back of my head, I want to say, "Why don't you do it?" But
Right.
that's rude, right? But I won't say that. But just block out the noise and really believe. I believe that what I'm doing is going to change state to state, nationwide. I have a quote that I say, "Nativate the world," and that just simply means that I think that my message can impact the world. I just do. I believe it can, and I'm going to try, and I'm going to do the work. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not the end of the world, but I definitely think that it can impact somebody. So that's what I would say. Get yeah, that's about it. I would say get in the right environments, block out the noise, and just start with what you have. That would be my three takeaways.
Well, this show is called Impact Play because
Yeah.
I believe that the biggest things in our lives happen outside of
Right.
what people get to see. And so I'm glad that you kind of hit on those three things and looking
Yeah.
at your journey with basketball and
Yeah.
becoming a founder in entrepreneurship and even
Right.
just, being a mom, like just the things
That's a whole different topic.
that's, I'm just saying it's all it's the impact that you make is bigger than what people see. So I
Yeah.
always ask on Impact Play, what has been your biggest impact play?
I would say the like. What do you mean by that? What's my biggest
So
person that impacts me, or what?
what do you think, people are going to remember you by?
Oh,
Or what have you left behind in terms of legacy?
okay. I definitely would think passion. Passion, like I cannot hide it. Anything that I'm passionate about, you're gonna see it. And just like the dreamer, like I just think that I've always been a dreamer. I think that sometimes I stopped dreaming because I didn't know, like my dream since 6 years old was to go to the NBA because there wasn't no WNBA. And then it went to go in the WNBA, and I don't think I accomplished that dream, but within that journey, look at what happened. Like, and I didn't see that happen. I was just trying to work a regular job, raise some kids, would figure out what they was gonna get into, be into, and pour into them. That's
Right, right.
exactly what, because I lived my dream. I did what I wanted to do. So now, like I said, I think it is like my biggest thing is leaving a legacy for my kids, of course, right?
Right.
And making sure that they are able to, I hope they are able to find something they're passionate about
Mhm.
and chase it till it chases you. That's my goal. See, a lot of times we say chase your dreams. I really feel like if you continue on that road, it's going to chase you. You're going to be
Right.
able to, like right now, I can say, if I get a call, I can say my July is full.
Right,
Two
right.
years ago, I couldn't, like, I cannot fathom that. Like, wait a minute, your July is full. Like, you know what I'm saying? You remember when you trying to fill a
Right.
month, you trying to do something. So I'm gonna take that next month. I'm gonna enjoy that season because you, as you know, it's not gonna be the same in August.
Right,
So,
right.
so, so yeah, I think that's my legacy. Like, like be passionate about something. And I love to inspire others. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I love seeing kids, girls or boys, find, like, especially through basketball, work hard through training. I love getting the messages of I made the team. Well, I mean, or I love building them up when they think that they're down. Like right now, I'm working with a girl that, the college choice didn't work out. I'm like, okay, it's not the end of the world. So just being able to work with her this summer and be able to give her some things that she can take with her. Like, I don't think I think that's bigger than training. So
Yes,
those
it
are
is.
things like that I really, I'm just a relationship type person. I know one of you asked earlier, like that's one of my flaws in business. Like,
Mhm.
and I'm not gonna change it. At first I'm like, I'm gonna change it, I'm gonna be more. I'm not gonna change it. I am going to alter it and understand that, you gotta have systems in place. Like, we have a strategic planning and strategic person where maybe they can be the one that reads the people. Cause me, I believe everything somebody say, like, oh yeah, we can work together. So I learned that through experiences. So that part is one of the parts
Yes,
I hate about it. I hate the betrayal. I
of
hate
course.
the people not being genuine. I hate
Yeah.
I hate that part, but it's also the part that I like because now you underestimate me. Now I gotta come back and I gotta redo some things. Now I gotta make sure nativate the world, what I'm saying? We're gonna use
Mhm.
everything for fuel to get better.
That's phenomenal. So because you're such a relational person, for the families and the listeners that wanna support what you got going on,
Right.
how can they connect with you?
Okay, we have everything. We have Facebook, which is our pretty much our biggest base. We're probably getting like 60,000 views on posts and things like that on Facebook. So that's Hall of Famer all together, HALLOF, capital FAMER, space Nae, NAE. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, Nativate NAETIVATE underscore. We're always looking for, what I'm saying, we got training sessions, you wanna volunteer, you know what I'm saying, somebody, we got gear you can support by buying a T-shirt, just trying to do everything.
That's what's up, and I'm sure that there's someone listening that will wanna connect in that way. You got a website for the people too?
Yes, we do. www.naetivate.com. So yeah, that'll be the best place to go. You'll have your training, you'll have your apparel, you'll have our next and upcoming events. So yeah, that'll be the best place.
Well, no, no, Nate. I just want to thank you so much for sharing your story and the journey and being so honest and passionate and transparent
Yeah.
about it all. I just thank you so much for that. And everything she said, y'all, I will put in the notes. So if you didn't catch it, it will be linked in the notes with this episode. One thing that I will say is that we never truly know the impact of our story and how it can be inspirational to someone else. Sometimes the challenges, the lessons we learn, the moments we didn't realize that were shaping us is because that very thing is so what someone else needs to hear
Right.
or they need to see. And so that is what impact play is all about. And so just thank you again. Thank
I
you
thank
again.
you, Dr. J. Like I said, like you being a, what I'm saying, relatability, being former sports and things like that. So I'll be following. How can I follow your podcast and
Yes.
things like that? So, and also connect on projects or events that you have.
Yeah, so everyone, if you go to I'm on Instagram, so it's
Okay.
Impact Play Dr. J. I am on TikTok, same thing, Impact Play
Okay.
Dr. J. My business website, everyone knows that Dr. J is the money lady. She is the
Okay.
nonprofit guru. So that is the jonesconsultingfirm.com.
Okay.
And so also catch me on YouTube. And so YouTube will be
Okay.
Impact Play with Dr. J. And so that way you can really connect with me. Anything that you want to see, do let me know. I have a form for that. If there's somebody that we need to highlight, let us know.
Okay.
And so yeah, so if to everyone listening, I just appreciate you being a part of this conversation. And if this episode inspired you, challenged you, or remind you of someone who deserves to be shared, whose story deserves to be shared, please make sure you follow Impact Play with Dr. J and continue as we highlight the leaders and the athletes and the change makers that are creating change in our communities because everyone has a story. This is what I say
Yep.
every episode. And your story might just be the play that changes someone else's life. And so I'm Dr. J, and this is Impact Play.
Thank you.